Excuse me. As a die-hard fan of the horror genre, I pride myself on being pretty knowledgeable on quite a few different things. I can tell you how many movies John Carpenter has directed, how many media appearances Godzilla has, you know, that kind of thing. But occasionally, and just occasionally, even a die-hard superfan like I can have something slip under the radar. And this is what happened to me recently when I discovered this entry on IMDb. That's right, in 1969, John Carpenter, the master of horror himself, directed a Gorgo vs. Godzilla movie. Immediate reaction? Bogus, innit? It's obviously fake. There is no way that this thing is real. Are you telling me John Carpenter, director of The Thing, Escape from New York, They Live, Halloween, directed a Godzilla movie? And not just this, a Godzilla vs. Gorgo movie, and I just happen to not know about it. That kind of thing would be held in infamy by Godzilla groupies the likes of me. There is no way on this earth that one of the best film directors of all time directed a Godzilla movie and it just slipped under the radar. No way. And then, during an interview, he just confirms it. He just bloody confirms it. There it is. With a single sentence, my entire life has been torn apart and I'm just expected to just stand here and pick up the pieces. I'm expected to go back to my normal life knowing that the holy grail of cinema is out there and that I will never see it. Okay, let's pull it back a minute. I'm going to give some context and explain why this is like the single most amazing thing ever. So, a bit of exposition now. Gorgo was the UK's first and pretty much only attempt at a kaiju movie. It was done utilising the Japanese-style suitmation to varying degrees of success. The plot focuses on a trawler ship finding a sea monster and capturing it to put on display at the London Museum. What they don't know, however, is that was just a baby and mama ain't happy. It was done to cash in around the hype of Godzilla movies, but honestly, I think it's bloody underappreciated. I know I'm biased and big lizard go smash make monkey brain happy, but I genuinely think this one's worth a look. Plays out like some cross between 70s Doctor Who and Godzilla. Definitely worth a look if you're into either genre, and 100% worth the historical look for kaiju fans. And obviously, I don't need to explain to you guys who Godzilla is. You've obviously already watched my half-an-hour long series breaking down the beginnings of the Godzilla series, right? Unfortunately, this film was the end of the mother and son duo. There's never been any kind of Gorgo remake or sequel, and just about its only relevancy to modern day culture is the cameo that it has as the film that scares Flubber in the Robin Williams movie of the same name. So even outside from the fact that it's John Carpenter, of all people, director of all this stuff, is tackling Godzilla, one of the most versatile, powerful movie monsters of all time, it's also finally recognition for Gorgo. Do you see why this movie's a big deal yet? Which brings us back to the interview. And this is where we kind of get a bit of a bump in the road. It seems for now that Gorgo vs. Godzilla is strictly off limit for fans. I want to make it very clear, I want to clarify this was not any kind of legal production. Neither Toho nor King Brothers Productions had anything to do with this. It was entirely fan-made and thus not canon to either universe. But still, fan-made by John Carpenter, I'd accept that over some of the canon stuff that we do have. Carpenter's gone on record a number of times saying that he's a huge fan of kaiju, and honestly, are we surprised by that? The man owes his roots to cheesy horror. Really should come as no surprise that when he was the same age as me, he was out there making vintage turds on an 8mm camera. It doesn't just make sense, but it fills a specific bat-shaped hole in my heart. And of course, my favourite film of his, The Thing, was actually made in tribute to one of his favourite films, 1951's The Thing from Another World, which you can see playing in Halloween. Heck, even his first movie, 1974's Dark Star, started as a student film that went over budget. Honestly, at this point, I'm more surprised that we haven't seen him spec into the kaiju genre. Could you imagine a Carpenter-directed adaptation of something like Call of Cthulhu? I guess Hollywood just hates money. So bringing us back to the quote from earlier, suddenly makes a bit more sense now. What, it was some crappy student film that he made when he was a kid and he was embarrassed by it. I get that. But, Mr. Carpenter, John, if you will, do I look like I give a flying f***? This movie was supposedly made in 1969, which would have placed him at about 21. An understandable age to be producing embarrassing content, but again, and I'm sure a large number of Carpenter fans, we don't care. Just the idea that something like this actually exists fills me with so many questions, man. Was it just a fight scene, or was it like a feature-length thing? Was it horror, or was this like some rare delve into one day to come? We don't know any of this, and we're not going to know any of it until we get more info about it. The only info that I could actually find that may or may not be true, because it could have been written by anyone, was a comment on this IMDb page. The short film was detailed in the book Young Filmmakers by Roger Larson and Ellen Mead. The book went into descriptions of films made in the New York area in the late 60s, one of which was Gorgo vs. Godzilla, a short animated film that also included Rodan. Although I have never personally seen Gorgo vs. Godzilla, rest assured it does exist. The book even had a few stills showing renderings of Gorgo and Godzilla. Check your local used bookstore for a copy of this book, as it is long out of print. Okay, now we're finding out that it's animated? Or by animated, do they mean stop motion? And Rodan's in it! This book has pictures, let's bloody find the book, right? Well, I have looked into it and I can't properly confirm or deny what they're saying. It might be 100% true, everything that they've said in this comment, but if it is, they are the only person on the entire internet that seems to own this book. I couldn't even find a proper picture of what it looks like. I can't find any normal place online to buy it, there are no scans of it online, and I'm not ruining my wallet for something that may or may not actually exist. So coming out of all that, I guess this is my official call-out video for John Carpenter. Come on, bro. What have you got? Doesn't matter if it's crap. Hell, it's better if it is. If it makes you feel any better, my best video on this channel is talking about a Harry Potter fanfiction that I did when I was 14. And see, having a look at Carpenter's social media, he seems a lot more down to earth and humble than a lot of big time Hollywood directors, so I guess there's a chance that one day we might see some of this. Or pictures, at the very least. Come on, bro. Don't make me drop a diss track on you. Editing this in after the fact, I just thought it was the best opportunity to flex my John Carpenter autograph that I got. It was organised through Monopoly Events, which is a great company. They usually do conventions all around the UK. Obviously, that's not going ahead right now. And they've still kept the effort in to keep fans happy. And yeah, I'm over the moon with this. It says, "To Curtis, do us proud, JC." He's also spilt a bit of ink on it, but I prefer that. It makes it more unique that way. Okay, so thank you to him, thank you to Monopoly, and Flex over with, and back to the studio. So, what can I say? In his 20s, John Carpenter made a Gorgo vs. Godzilla fan film, and the fact that he's too embarrassed about it to show anyone makes me unbelievably happy. It makes me feel a lot better about some of the content that I've produced in the past. This is all basically on par with George Romero's Resident Evil movie. Wait, you didn't know about that? Oh, bro! The plot focused on a ship finding a sea monster. The plot focus. Oh my good lord, let me see the script.